Good morning, church. Welcome to day 19 of our 28-day fast. Today we are in Matthew 19. And I'd like to preface today's devotional by letting you know that we will be discussing divorce. This passage and Jesus' words in this passage have been misinterpreted and misapplied for a really long time. Because of that misunderstanding of what Jesus is saying here, a lot of people have been guilted and shamed into staying in harmful and abusive situations. They have been guilted and shamed for their past divorces and mistakes. And so I think it's only fair that we consider the entire context of Matthew 19, and then we interpret Jesus' words through that context. So, the beginning of chapter 19 actually tells us that the Pharisees came in order to test Jesus. So that right there tells us that their intentions were not pure. They were not coming with a sincere question. They didn't really care about the answer. They wanted to test and trap him. This is no different than what they had done before with all their other questions. And so they come to him and they ask him, is it lawful to divorce a wife for any reason? And so let's consider the surrounding context. They are currently having this conversation within the jurisdiction of King Herod. And so we learned a couple chapters back in Matthew 14 that John the Baptist had actually been beheaded. Why was he beheaded? He was calling King Herod out. King Herod and his current wife. King Herod was married to his sister-in-law. So he was married to his brother's wife. Leviticus 18:16 and Leviticus 20:21 forbid marrying your brother's wife while your brother is still alive. And so John the Baptist knew this. He called them out and he told them that what they were doing was not lawful. And so because of that, there's a series of events that led to his beheading. And so the Pharisees knew that. The Pharisees could have been asking Jesus this question while they were within the jurisdiction of King Herod in order to trap him. Maybe they were hoping for the same fate that John the Baptist had. And they were also considering that Deuteronomy 24:1 was an age-old debate. Deuteronomy 24:1 is the verse that talks about if your wife does not please you, or if you find something offensive in her, that you can put her away, that you can divorce her. And so this was actually a Hillel Shammai debate, the school of thought. One side believed that you could divorce your wife for any reason under the sun, even if she burnt your dinner. The other school of thought was a little bit more logical. They said that you can only divorce your wife if she had it was a serious offense, adultery. And so this was a debate that was well known and is still debated today. And so Jesus, being Jesus, didn't answer them according to how they expected him to answer. He actually goes a completely different route. And he takes it all the way back to creation. And he says that God's design for marriage was that two become one, and that no man should ever separate what God has joined together. Again, Yeshua is calling us higher. He's expecting more. And so, just like looking with the intention to lust is committing adultery, it's more than just the act. And just like hating within our heart is murder, it's more than just the act. And here, he's calling us to something better. He's saying that we are not to just look for any reason under the sun to divorce our spouse and get out of this covenant that we've made. And so it's important to note that he's not forbidding divorce altogether. He was addressing a very specific question that the Pharisees were asking in order to test him. And so I want you to remember that we serve a God that loves us. We serve a God that wants to see us healed and whole. We serve a God that frees us from our oppressors, from our abusers. We serve a God who forbids infidelity. And far too many of us have been wounded by divorce. Our prayer is that you find the healing that you need. Please do not hesitate to reach out to our pastors if you need help working through this topic. We love you and we're here for you. Be blessed. We'll see you tomorrow, church.